Well, good morning, honey, and welcome to the RV Kitchen, where all my recipes are cheap, easy, and delicious, thanks to the power of caffeine. Oh, here, honey, have a cup of coffee while we get going on breakfast. Now, the great thing about this recipe, aside from starting off with bacon, is that you can prep all the ingredients the night before, and then, honey, the next morning you just assemble it and it's good to go. So I would consider this a meal prep recipe. One of the great things about this recipe, aside from starting off with bacon, is that you can use anything. So if you don't have bacon, you can totally go for sausage, honey. Once that bacon's done, just set it to the side, let it cool down. You can pop it in the fridge, or you just leave it, and then you're going to go on to the next step. We're going to toss in some potatoes. I'm using tater tots, honey, right from the freezer. And yes, honey, we're going to save some of that bacon grease to fry these up in. Oh. Now, honey, don't worry about them falling apart because that's kind of what you want. Just let them fry for a second, then flip them, and then keep doing that until they get a good, crispy exterior. Ooh, it's so hard not to eat these. Just keep them on a good medium high and watch them closely. And once these get done, honey, well, you can just pull them out and either pop them in a container into the fridge or just set them next to your bacon because then we're going to be moving on to the next step. Ooh, y'all go ahead and try this and tell me what you think. And yes, honey, in the same pot, because that's another great thing about this recipe, I've got a little bit of oil left and we're just going to toss in about 3 green onions, roughly chopped, you know. And we're going to let those get almost translucent, and the next ingredient we're going to add in is about 2 teaspoons of some garlic, or about 2 cloves if you're using fresh. Just bring that heat on down to about a medium here, honey, because you don't want that to burn. And use your strong hand to give it a good toss, baby. Once your garlic is starting to get a little color on it and the onion has softened up, you're going to toss in a good amount of some fresh spinach. Go for about 2 to 3 cups. You'll have about a tablespoon worth in the end. Just keep it stirred until it wilts, and then we're going to add in a little lemon pepper because that'll be nice with the spinach. Once you get your small amount worth, then you're going to take and pull that out of the pot and just let that cool down. Again, you can pop a lid on that container, store it in the fridge, and then you'll be all set in the morning. But since we are just pressing on through with the power of coffee, honey, in that same pot, what we're going to do is we're going to return our bacon back in and just crumble it in the best you can. You want some big pieces and some little pieces. And what's going to happen is going to render a little bit more fat, which is perfect for the next step. Now, while that's doing its thing, grab yourself a jar. And yes, honey, you know I love my empty jars. Not only are repurposed jars great for storing things, but you can always use them when you're cooking up something. Like this next step here, honey. Rather than dirtying up a bowl or a fork and a mixer, I'm going to add about 5 to 6 eggs into the jar. And then we're going to go in with about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Milk works too, honey, but you're going to get a fluffier consistency with this. Now, like your cousin at the last family reunion, you're just going to start shaking it. And honey, this is always a great thing to do at an omelet party. The look on your guest's face when you hand them an empty ragu jar is priceless. Once it's shaken up like an Oldsmobile down a dirt road, you're going to add in a little salt and pepper, and you can go for any other seasoning, but I'm going to keep it simple here, honey. Now, I've added my potatoes, aka tater tots, back into the pot with the bacon. And then, honey, we're going to let that hang out and marry on up, and that bacon is going to rehydrate them taters, and them taters are going to brown up a little bit more, and then we can add in our spinach. And honey, if you are camping, keep in mind this is a great recipe to cook over a campfire. Now, if you like cheese, which I don't know anybody that doesn't, add in about 1/2 cup to however you're feeling that day, and then give it a quick toss, and then you're going to add your lovely egg mixture right on top. Once you pour that all on top, then you're going to take a spatula or spoon and just kind of help it along here by getting some of those air bubbles out and allow the egg mixture to get right down to the bottom of all of this. And then we're going to top it with a little bit more cheese, and then, honey, you're just going to reduce that heat down to a medium, pop a lid on there, and just let that sit about 5 to 10 minutes. Now, what I like to do is I like to go back in, take a spatula, and just flip everything over. You're going to think you made a big mess, but trust me, honey, it's going to be fabulous. Top it with cheese, pop the lid back on there for another 5-10 minutes, then kill that heat, and honey, you have a fabulous breakfast. Or lunch or dinner, honey. I could fix this up and have it for dinner too. No complaints. You'll know it's done whenever the center is set and the edges are a little bit crispy. It's important to keep that lid on there because all that heat is going to cook the top. And then, honey, I like to serve this up either on its own or maybe with some fresh fruit. A couple of slices of oranges kind of helps out with the richness. Well, honey, I hope you try this recipe out and let me know what you add or take away. I'd love to try your version. Ooh, talk about cheap, easy, and delicious. Now open up, baby, because the next time I see you, we'll be back at the RV Kitchen. Ooh, that's a cheesy bite. Careful now.